This is Q.I.Q, the question in question. Brought to you by TherapyBites Art Lab. Here to take a bite out of modern-day pseudo-psychological psycho-malarkey. Now entering the Art Lab studio, today's T-Ballers, a collection of fellow strugglers, confronting personal challenges, navigating precarious relationships, and tackling trauma. Humans like each of us, juggling difficult human emotions, each here with unique life experiences, lived stories, and questions we'll bite into that just might help you too. And now, entering the Art Lab studio for the 9,880th time is the host of TherapyBites Q.i.Q, Doc Heath.
Hey guys, welcome to Q.i.Q. Thank you for being here, and we're just so happy that you're joining us, whether you're doing so live, in which case that you can win prizes from the company store, or whether you're doing this in the replay. And I don't have my handy-dandy sound guy here tonight, so I hope I'm coming through loud and clear. It looks like it looks like we have sound, so we'll move right on to the board. But first, a bit of a psychological dad joke. What did the hippocampus say when it retired? What did the hippocampus say when it retired? That coming right up. Let's go to the board, and we have on the menu this evening Couch Crumbs Quotes. It also stands for Couch Crumbs Questions, some interesting questions, or at least we think they are. Creature Feature, which is how we explain some of our psychological concepts in the field of cognitive psychology. Social Media Smackdown, where we take on some misconceptions in social media. Fresh from the Therapy Couch, Couch Crumbs, which is our newsletter that'll be coming out on Friday. More information on that later. And Neuro, which also stands for Psych Secrets. And the first item today, and I'll get back to the answer to that riddle right after the break, but it's going to come from Couch Crumbs Quotes for 200 Psy coins, and I will put that up on the board so everyone has a chance to answer that. Not that the people on Facebook can hear, but I apologize. For some reason, our feed to Facebook is not working this evening. Let's put this up on the board. And I hope that's not too loud. For some reason, during the updating the software, some of our settings got off. So I hope that's not blowing out your eardrums. And I hear that it just cut off. It's not supposed to do that either. The answer is the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And I encourage regularly people that think that others can control their thoughts, that others can make them think that they're crazy, that others can manipulate them. Really grab onto this quote. This is something that's helped me so much as an individual, as a human being. The last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And since we don't have a response just yet, the question is, who is Viktor Frankl? And he was an existential psychologist that started a kind of a niche field of psychology called logotherapy. If some of you clinicians have not heard of that, I encourage you to look that up. Your patients might find great utility in that. Me and my colleagues have, and we use it quite routinely. But Frankl stressed the power of meaning and the power of choice. Even in the direst of circumstances, Frankl believed, as do I, that we always have a choice of how to think. And you can read about this in his book called Man's Search for Meaning. Let's go back to the board. And our next item is going to come from Creature Feature for 200 Psy coins. And as I promised, we'll take a break, and then I'll get back to that little, well, dad joke riddle right after this. And it's up in the chat. Take a look. We'll be right back after this.
If you are a fellow human struggling with difficult emotions, a fracturing relationship, parenting problem, mental health difficulty, have a psychotherapy from hell story to tell, or a challenging life experience question, and would like to share your story by stepping up to bat as a T-baller, either register by texting Q.i.Q to 1-870-686-4196 and join our Therapy Bites community, or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, email address, and age to the address on the screen. Therapy Bites, Q.i.Q, P.O. Box 1391, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72403, 1391.
And yes, we do love those postcards. Go ahead and send those. That's how we get some of our items here. If you have a question you'd like for us to answer on the air, put it on a postcard. You can also text it to our community number, which is 1-870-686-4196. The item is from Creature Feature, and guess what? This is our T-ball triple of the day, and the answer is, this is the cognitive distortion in which people predict negative outcomes for situations before they happen. Now, what kind of special skill would you need to be able to predict something or really know what's going to happen before it happens? And this belief system, we call it a cognitive distortion, often leads to anxiety and to self-fulfilling prophecies. We first create things in the brain, then we create them out there. To a large extent, that's how that works. And we don't have your proper responses just yet, so I will. The question is, what is fortune telling? What is fortune telling? And one of my favorite people, James Randi, a famous magician who is also a famous psychic debunker, has $1 million prize. If you can prove that you're a great fortune teller, he'll write you a check for $1 million. So if you're that good at it, go to New York, and the amazing Randy, I think he's still kicking, I hope he is, will write you a check for that. What did the hippocampus say when it retired? It said, "Thanks for the memories." I know. You got to kind of be in the field to get that. Let's go back to the board and grab our next item here. It comes from Social Media Smackdown, one of my favorite categories. And I will put that response, actually the answer, up on the board. And it's your job to come up with the question. So let me get it up there for you. There we go. Hopefully you can read that. I wish I could. I need to learn how to make that bigger. What is the damaging social media misconception that is challenged by psychologists who assert that self-worth and success are multifaceted and can't be measured by social media metrics? And hopefully that makes more sense what it sounded like to me in that moment. But this is a very damaging belief in social media that you can measure self-worth and success by these little metrics in social media. Some of you know what I'm talking about. What are those called? We have a few seconds left, and if you're on the air, whether it is Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube, you can put your answer in the blank there. We're out of time. What is the belief that more likes and more followers equates to personal worth and success? Those numbers don't provide evidence that you have more worth, and certainly not evidence that you have less worth. Don't measure your self-worth by digits in the likes column or the follower column on any social media platform. Let's go back to the board and pick our next item here, which is fresh from the therapy couch. And this is for 600 Psycoins. And I'll put this up on the board. We'll take a quick break while you canoodle your noodle with this. And we'll be right back.
If you plan on being in the local area of your podcast player app and would like complimentary tickets to the Therapy Bites Q.i.Q Art Lab studio audience, please search Therapy Bites on your device and just smash that subscribe button. Your complimentary ticket grants you access to alerts so you'll never miss a show.
And we're back. And I'll put this up on the board. This is, the answer is the main but often catastrophized information sharing ingredient on which relationships are constructed. Just think about that. What's the main ingredient in your relationship? Or what do you think should be the main ingredient in your relationship? And the question is, what is communication? What is communication? Communication is the fuel source, it's the fertilizer, whatever comparison you want to make, of healthy relationships. We have one more to go, so let's go back to the board, and I will put this up there. This is from Psych Secrets, and this is for 800 PCs, 800 Psycoins. And we'll be back right after this.
Premier accommodations for our T-Ball contributors provided electronically by the luxurious Art Lab Studio, overlooking the steaming cesspool of pseudo-psychological social media psychomalarkey and located in cyberspace on your favorite podcast hosting platform, where we invite you to the most psychomalogically thrilling podcast in town, while you feast on our award-winning psychologically nutritious buffet of TherapyBites cuisine, conscientiously cooked up by your hard-working T-Ball team chefs.
And we're back for our final item of the evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. The answer from Psych Secrets for 800 PCs, which you can collect those, and then you can turn those in and get free merchandise from our website. The answer, the term for our brain's sense of the relative position of your body parts out there in space, and this is often referred to as the real sixth sense. What is that? And we're out of time, so I put it up on the chat here. I'll pull it over to the board. What is proprioception? Gosh, what is that? Proprioception. Hey, that's a big $5 word, as my dad would say. What is proprioception? The sense of your body in space, and what a cool sense it is to have. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We'll be back here again Thursday night with some more, Q&A from the field of, my field, psychology, and hopefully interesting, and maybe another dad joke. Go out there, do something healthy for your brain, and here's a tip. I had one of our T-ballers, TherapyBites Art Labbers, one of our viewers, one of our audience, send me some research. They're so kind to do that, so thank you for sending that over. A new research study that talked about just focused breathing through mindfulness, through meditation, 20 minutes twice a day reduces markers in the brain, peptides in the brain associated with Alzheimer's. So do yourself a favor, do your brain a favor, practice your breathing. And I would suspect that, actually the research suggests that good cardiovascular exercise can have similar effects. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Next time on TherapyBites Art Lab Q.i.Q, Doc Keith and T-Ball callers face off against steaming piles of pseudo-psychological psychomalarkey directly from your favorite social media platforms, or perhaps from the psychotherapy couch of a pill-pushing, emotion-demonizing, bobble-headed, woo-woo clinician who fed their kooky Kool-Aid to you. This is Art Potto speaking. TherapyBites Q.i.Q is a Dr. I'm a Floyd Knot production. Distributed by the TherapyBites Art Lab Podcast.